again. It's Wednesday morning. It's the middle of the week. You guys been hanging tight. Praise the Lord. Good to have you on the live again. We're still talking about that salt, because I do want that to really penetrate your heart, penetrate your mind, penetrate your spirit, knowing that you are the salt of the earth. And we are the ones that God is looking to keep everything preserved, everything going in the direction that He desires it to go. So often, we as Christians, sometimes we can lose our saltiness because we focus too much on us and not focus on Him. And so today, as we talk about saltiness and how we want to remain salty, how we want to remain joyful, how we want to remain thankful, how we want to remain grateful, we always have to look to the Word, because there's no other place to look. We can look here, we can look there, but we're going to find that the answer is always in God. So today, so many times through the years, I've heard, especially ladies, what does God want me to do? You know, like their life is not, like God is not enough. That's kind of how I saw it, but you know, that's just my opinion. Now, when I look at today's lesson that we're going to look at, knowing God's will for your life. So I think you'll be a little bit more clearer. Some of you say, I already know His will, but that's good. But there are some that don't. And then sometimes even what you know, if you don't, before you hear what's going to be said, say, I know this, you'd find that God would give you greater revelations. How do I know? Because I've been guilty of that myself. Everybody has, because when you know something, your mind automatically shifts to what you know, what revelation you already got, not realizing that greater revelations can be given. So when we think about God's will for our life, I'm looking at Psalm 37, one of my favorite Psalms. Psalm 37 verse 4 says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Verse 5 says, commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He will bring it to pass. You know, my mind goes to John 14:6. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So we're going somewhere. Commit thy way, your way, unto the Lord. So now let's think about this. Sometimes we do, you know, we spend time, and some of you out there, you spend time seeking the will of God. Who should I marry? What job should I take? What house should I buy? And there is something to all of this. That's not what I'm saying. But the will of God is much deeper than what house you're going to buy and all that, things like that. What most believers miss is that the will of God is the will of God. Simple as that. The will of God is the will of God. And you can't have a will without a heart. He said, delight yourself also in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of thine heart. So you can't have a will without a heart. So if you're going to talk about the will of God, you have to talk about the heart of God. And so when you think about the heart of God and you look at Psalm 37:4, delight yourself in the Lord, which means I'm in Him, so is His heart, not mine. And He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. He will give you the desires of your heart because your heart is now becoming His heart. You're delighting yourself in Him. So His desires are what you want. Because the will of God is the will of God. The will of God is what God desires, not what you desire. You got to get that revelation of what I'm saying. You can't know the will of God until you know the heart of God. And to know the heart of God is to have the heart of God. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. And so unless you know the heart of God, you can't know the will of God. You can't just read the scriptures. I go back to John 6:63 and I remember when I first got born again and I was saved and I started hearing faith teaching, and me and my girlfriend said, oh, this is going to be the easiest because all you got to do is say what the word say and you got it. Boy, we didn't realize anything about revelation knowledge at that time. We just thought you say, speak to the mountain and it's gone. And we spoke and nothing happened. Why? Because he's got to speak it to you. He said, the words that I speak unto you, because you have my heart. I put my heart, my sayings. I know what I want for you. You want what you want, but I want what I want, and I'm God. And he says, to know the heart of God is to have the heart of God. And then you're going to desire the things that God desires. And to be passionate about things that God is passionate about. And to be broken about things which break God's heart. You're not going to laugh at stuff and do stuff that break God's heart. See, you want the will of God in your life? Then seek the heart of God in your life. Say, well, how do I do that? Read the Bible. Read the Bible, yeah. That's the book for you. That's the book for me. Read the Bible. Find out when you read the Bible what God longs for and make that your passion. Then you're going to know God's will for your life when you make his passion your passion. Seek the heart of God and the will of God will follow. Again, I say, seek the heart of God and the will of God will follow. Now, I'm not, you can read Psalm 37. That's a very powerful one. And you know, we only, as Apostle said, I only have 8 minutes. So that's the time I'm going to take. But I want to turn to Acts and close with this. Acts 13:22. And when he had removed him, who did he remove? Talking about Saul. He raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart. But I like the rest of it, which shall fulfill all my will. So that's what God is looking for. That's the will of God for your life. That's the will of God for your life. See, God already knows the secrets of your heart. Now it's your turn to go after his heart, like David did here. Meditate on that, and you think about it. David was the son of Jesse, and he was a man after God's own heart. And he said, David's going to do whatever I want done. He's going to fulfill my will. And that's the will of God for your life, that you fulfill the will that God has for your life. And you only do that by reading that word, by finding out what God longs for, and making that your passion. And I know you can do it. God bless. See you Thursday morning.